We want to thank you for joining us here on this Sunday. I'm Melissa Constanzer.
And I'm Bree. Hopefully your day starting off great for most areas across the country. Weather-wise, it should be, though there are a few problem areas.
The nation's heartland is going to be dealing with a lot of thunderstorms. Unfortunately, overnight in Oklahoma, they had tornadoes touch down outside of very popular downtowns like Oklahoma City. So in the metro area, dealing with the cleanup there. These thunderstorms dying down, but there's new ones forming right behind it with all of the energy diving in through the west.
And you can see that big.
This past week marked 12 years since Hurricane Sandy made landfall, changing the Jersey Shore forever. Homes and businesses talking about some very dry weather as of recently. You can see the last 30 days. There's nothing on the board here. So it has been an extremely dry pattern here, and we are waiting for that chance of rain. Just to show you here, there's been some greens. You might have to take this full screen to see this, but there is through today. New York City coming in at 56 degrees, head off towards the west. Columbus in the lower 70s. All of a sudden, the warm air is starting to push its way back in. It comes without much in the way of rain. Warm front trying to lift through, and as it does so, you can see temperatures back to the 50s overnight in Columbus. 45, though, still for the low in New York City. So if you're headed out the door tomorrow morning, just know that some of those outlying areas, especially in the higher terrain beyond New York City, will be in the 30s, much like Boston, 37 for the low. Monday, that cool air is slowly departing. I've been using mine to insulate my carrots, which are still going in the garden. As you can see here, you look across the northern tier of the nation, and while you have leaves out there, they might be getting a little wet because the rain is returning today. So this is going to be a soaking rain for some. If you're headed to the big game, Green Bay versus Detroit, NFC North here taking on the 1 and 2 spots. There will be some showers to contend with. Also, those winds pretty strong out of the south, trying to bring in some mild air and keeping the frozen tundra above freezing. As we get into Monday, there's more green on the board here. Notice no blues really going on across the nation. And if you're in parts of the Northeast, it's really just a beautiful setup to end a November weekend. I mean, we're in the mid-60s in Washington, D.C. This is right where we want to be this time of year, near historical average. Philadelphia, bright, beautiful, lower 60s for that high. Just about perfect for early November. Even Niagara Falls holding on to the mid-50s. Keeps us dry and beautiful. Great chance to get out, tackle some of those yard projects if you need to, or even tackle some of those leaves like we were talking about. Tampa Bay and the Tampa.
That could bring some more rain, but this time to the west coast of Spain, the northwest coast of Spain, as it does continue its journey across the North Atlantic. Though, if we look down at the Caribbean right now, this is where we have some angry-looking storms, and we have our area where we have our tropical rainstorm highlighted here in the southern Caribbean, but we are also monitoring this zone across the south North Atlantic towards Hispaniola and towards the Lesser Antilles. This is going to go from today through the 8th. Now, the chance is low for development, but we're still going to have action, and this is going to be an area to monitor, not just now, but really through mid-November, where we'll have those persistent thunderstorms. We won't have a lot of wind shear to help fight these storms, and well, they're going to be training over some warm waters. But where we have those now, water vapor over the last few hours, you'll see that we've been expanding that moisture some. We've been feeding it more so into the Caribbean. We still have a lot of dry air to fight across the North Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, but either way, we are anticipating more moisture to help fuel those storms eventually as they do